My name is Brian Rainey, and I drive a 2012 Ram 2500 Cummins, and this is my episode of The Builder.
Attention, attention. I got some things I want to mention. You listening? Fact check, yeah.
My current setup of my truck is it's an 8-inch McGaughy's Premium Long Arm kit with a Top Gun Customs leveling kit stacked on the front, which we don't recommend doing, but if you do your research, you can figure it out on your own. It's also got 24x14 Archon Triumph chrome wheels wrapped in 40x15.5 Fury MTs. I also have Flight Fab track bars, Flight Fab tow hooks. I have Black Label Lighting rock light kit. I have Morimoto headlights and Retro Shop LLC 5th gen conversion with a conversion harness, thanks to the girlfriend because it was expensive, as well as a Gen Y hitch. And that's pretty much all that my truck has. It's pretty basic because I'm poor. Dad, send me your credit card. What got me into building would be Live the Truck Nationals, because I didn't have my truck last year when that happened, as well as Daytona Truck Show. Lawson went with me on that one. And we went 2 years ago and then last year. And when you go out on the beach, you see all those big trucks and all the big trucks at the shows, and you just kind of like get drawn into it. I mean, some of those trucks cost as much as a house. Just all the crazy colors, the powder coat, the big wheels, the big lifts. The crazy wrap jobs, you name it, it's been done, or it's gonna be done, or someone's looking into doing it. So that really influenced me to try and build stuff I liked, which was, like the bigger show trucks, the ones that are running 40s and 26s and stuff like that. What do I enjoy most about building trucks? So my truck got redone twice. The first time, Offset's Garage built it, our shop at work. We just threw in the 8-inch McGaughy's lift kit and then put the wheels and tires on, as well as I did the small stuff like the headlights and stuff at my shop. And then this last winter I tore it apart down to basically a cab and a bed on a frame, pulled all the axles out, all the suspension, powder coated it all. So watching it go from a stock height truck to lifted and then taking it all back apart after all that work just got done, and then running parts all over the state and waiting for parts coming from all over the country, just watching it change, and everyone's like, well, it's just a color change, but you look at the truck and it looks totally different. And I think that's my favorite part, is watching the truck go from stock to everyone asking how you can drive it down the highway every day. Do I have anyone that influences me or helps me? Yeah. Obviously the big Instagram models, High Roller on 30s, I'll teach you how to skate, big throwback Joe Rubio's truck, as well as a couple local buddies like Mitchell White's 3rd gen, Michael May's 4th gen from Florida. I like really clean trucks. They're clean and simple. They're not super over the top. They might be bigger, but they're not crazy wrap, crazy colors. Just clean and simple, and can't really beat a clean and simple truck. That's my big thing. So obviously building a big truck like this, I'm not big enough to do it all by myself, so I've had a lot of help. So the first iteration that we did, when we just threw the kit in before we got everything all powder coated, Cody Banker and Brent Buboltz at work helped, build my whole truck, because I'd never built a truck before. I built a lot of cars, and they did a great job. They had quite a few setbacks just due to the size and how you have to drilling through these frames is not fun for the radius arm brackets. But they hammered it out and really grinded through it, and I tried to help as much as possible. Mainly it was holding a flashlight or handing Dad a tool, so it wasn't wasn't too bad, but the second go around when I pulled everything apart, I spent a whole week tearing the whole truck apart by myself, and it took 7 to 8 weeks to get everything powder coated. And I had a buddy, James, pretty much cart me all over the state because I don't have another truck to haul half my other truck with it. So we took his truck and ran down to Milwaukee, ran up to New London, dropped everything off for powder coat over the course of 8 weeks, got all the axles powder coated, the arms, the everything. And then by the time we got it back, it was summer. So we sat and drank while we looked at all the cool parts and admired how beautiful they looked. And the next day I called my buddy Cody Harris up, as well as Mitchell and James, to come out and help throw my truck back together, whether it was pressing in ball joints, U-joints, grabbing a leaf spring while trying to jack the axle up at the same time, which is not very easy, I will say that. Well, because I did it on the ground, so that didn't help. But it was nice having like a group of friends come together and drink beers and throw a whole truck together in pretty much 2 days. And it went from a truck that sat on jack stands for 6 months to going down the road and by Sunday afternoon, which was pretty cool. So where my passion started actually wasn't with trucks. It was actually with old classic vehicles. I drove a 76 C10 step side, and then I had a 62 Impala that never hit the streets, unfortunately. And right out of high school, I traded my buddy my Crown Vic for his 1986, I believe, 535i BMW. Lowered it, put BBS wheels on it, and kind of just enjoyed it for what it was. They're not fast, they're not powerful, but it was a cool classic BMW. You don't see them around a lot. And then to fast forward, I sold that, and I didn't have a cool car for quite a while, so I just like went to shows with buddies. And then I believe 2014, I had a 96 Honda Civic that I modified. I lowered it, put a stereo in it, lip, SI wing, Mugen SIR bumpers. Pretty simple. I mean, it was a daily driver, so I didn't go crazy, and it was stock motor. After that, I started getting into S chassis, like S13s and S14s, which was a lot of fun. Like, I like watching drifting and stuff. I do not like working on them or anything like that with the S chassis. And then fast forward again, I bought a 2001 Ford F-250 7.3 that I didn't do anything other than paint some parts black, but I enjoyed it. I loved having a truck that you could pull anything you want with, and hanging out with all my buddies that have trucks at truck shows. Sold that, bought a Lexus. Cue the B-roll right here. It was red, it was white, it started out stock bodied on air, and I am not an air ride fan per se, so I took the air ride out, sold it, bought BC Extreme Drops, found out really fast that you can't go from a bagged lip-to-lip car to static. It just doesn't work. So I bought a wide body kit, wrapped the whole car yellow, and that was like my first time wrapping a car, first time going that crazy with a wide body or that low, and just made it work. And I actually had a kid come to my shop that I was doing work on his car, and he asked to buy it. So I sold it to him, turned around like 3 days later and bought an S13 that I bought from a good friend in my car club. And then I swapped out the coilovers and put on work T7Rs and enjoyed it for as much as it would run, which was not much. But other than that, I started getting into trucks like 4 or 5 years ago and couldn't afford it. And now I sold all my fun little stance cars and realized building a truck's expensive, but not like it was doing the Lexus. So it actually wasn't too bad. So for sponsors, I have Mogoy's hooked it up with a 8-inch premium long arm kit, which includes, the springs, the shocks, the radius arm brackets, new radius arms with Heim joints. It comes with everything you need to lift the truck. Worked out really great, have zero complaints. Mid-South LED hooked me up with my Morimoto XP headlights at a discount, which was nice because they're expensive headlights. Trying to get one through Flight Fab, but Miles don't love me enough. So hook it up, Miles. I know you watch these. As well as Archon Off-Road, which is our wheel company. I wanted a set of these really bad because they're clean, they're simple, and I'm not really a big fan of directional wheels or concave for the 24s. So I hit up Junior and Jeremy from Archon, and they hooked it up with 24x14 -81 Archon Triumphs in chrome, which I love. I also have rock light sponsored through Black Label Lighting, who we have on our website for my 20-piece rock light kit, which is great. I got mine in all white. You can get them in every color. I just like how clean the white is on my Illusion Purple suspension. And lastly but not least, the Gen Y hitch on the back. Need it for towing, getting in and out of the truck. I've actually yanked quite a few cars out of snow with them down the road from my shop before, so I have no complaints with that either. And towed a golf cart. So I want one of those. I want a limited really bad in Delmonico red, so if you have one for sale and you want to trade for a 4th gen that's built up, let me know. Other than that, if I keep this, I plan on getting a 4-link for the front and rear, and I'm torn on either going air ride or doing coilovers and going taller, and probably going to do 26x16s or 28x16s. Other than that, and probably wrap it. I like my gray, but I have some flaws, so I'm going to probably re-wrap it and put my new bumpers on. Other than that, stereo. That's my only real gripe, is I have an ST stereo, so it's not that great. So I want to put a stereo on it really bad, because I like music. Hook your boy up. I'm talking to you, Wet Sounds. What was one of my biggest setbacks for the build? Parts are expensive, so I had ball joints go out. You have to press them out, powder coat the axles, which is fine, but with my truck having as many miles as it does, I can only imagine how many sets of ball joints are pressed in and out, so I had to buy super expensive ball joints. They're permanent, they permanently alter the axle. That was about $1,000. I did all my U-joints, found one that bound up, so I was like, we'll just do all new ones. That was more than I'd like to admit in U-joints. I got a 1-piece aluminum drive shaft, just because the center support bearing just didn't seem to like the lift. And time, the big thing was time. I've had a hard time finding powder coaters that either the price is right, or their turnaround time was decent enough, or having powder coat issues. I ran into all three. I did find a shop though that I'm very trusted in now, and I think they do great work. They did my axles, they did a couple other parts, and they turned out flawless. And it was one of those, I dropped them off and he told me a week later, come get them. And yeah, other than the money's the big one, and then just time. It takes a lot of time to do stuff like this. Patience is a virtue, and I don't have a lot of patience. So what do my friends and family think about my truck? Obviously, most of my friends are either work at custom offsets, or are friends of people that work at custom offsets, or are into cars and trucks or motorcycles or whatever that has a motor. Majority of my friends love it. Some of them think it's stupid just because it's big, but you know, it's nice being able to pile 6 people into a truck and go down the highway without it like rubbing or any issues. So a lot of them like it. A lot of them think it looks cool. A lot of them don't want to drive it or own it because it is so big. It's long, it's tall, it's wide, and it gets terrible fuel economy, but most of them like it. My mom thinks it's stupid. She thought it was stupid when I bought it when it was lowered. She thinks it's even dumber now. My sister loves it. Yeah, I don't want to show my grandma because I don't think she'll like it. She's also 5'2". Am I part of any clubs or groups? Not really truck related, but back when I had my Lexus and my 240, I got invited into Violent Click, which is basically, the cars and trucks really aren't the big thing that brought us all together. I mean, it was, but it's not like what made us a family. It was, you know, like the mentality you have at car and truck shows, when we all go out to the bars, and like, we're from all over the world, so like when you all get together, you get a little crazy. It's like when your whole family gets together, it's a mess. But it's, you know, someone's car breaks down, you know, you're gonna help them, you know, stuff like that. Like just having each other's back and being there for each other, whether it's mentally, physically, financially. I mean, everyone needs a helping hand every once in a while, so Violent Click was definitely like one of my favorites to get into, and they've really shown that like family's family through and through. Other than that, for just truck related groups, I am not. Where did I learn to build and turn wrenches, essentially? It's one of those, you take it apart, and if it doesn't go back together, YouTube it or ask someone to help was my biggest one. Mainly was asking my buddy Mitchell and Banker and Brent, you know, because they've built tons of trucks, and Mitchell's got pretty much the same truck as me, just a generation older. Just asking a couple buddies if I couldn't get it. Other than that, it was learning on my own. You know, I took it apart once, and I was smart. I labeled every bag I took off, which is the first time I've ever done it. Because if this falls apart going down the highway versus one of my stance cars, it's like a 20-inch drop to the concrete. So I labeled every bag, threw it on my shelf, and once it came time to put it back together, there's an extra bolt in that bag, something wasn't put back together right. So you just take a step back, you know, look at it and go, oh, it goes right here. Other than that, it was pretty, it's actually straightforward as you can get, because Booby did all the hard work for me the first go around. Sucker. Thanks for watching my builder episode of my 2012 Ram 2500. Bye.